What's up, guys? Happy Friday. How's everybody doing? Don't mind me. I'm trying to multitask. I'm taking off some old nail polish. It is Gemini season after all, and Gemini does rule multitasking and it does rule the hands. So, gotta make sure that the hands are not crusty and that the nails are looking good. Actually, Gemini is the season of my eighth house, and eighth house is like a Scorpio energy. So I've got my black mug here because that's one of the biggest colors associated with Scorpio. And I'm also gonna paint my nails this like black color, but it has glitter in it, like silver glitter. So it's like really pretty, like a little reminds me of the sky, like a really dark night sky, and then the glitter is like the stars. So I'm all for that. So how's it? Wow. Oh my gosh, sorry. Okay. Anyway, how you guys doing? Yeah. Okay. So welcome to my weekly horoscope / coffee talk. And my name is April with astrolada.com. So I'm glad that you guys are here joining me this week. So as always, I'm going to go through the astrology of the week. And we are going to do a little bit of celebrity talk too. We're going to use some celebrity stuff, things that are going on in the news that everybody knows about, and use it as an example of how astrology works. So, excuse me. So we are going to get into, I'm going to get into some celebrities that have been in some conflict this week. They've been really hot in the news, and their conflicts are really good lessons of Mars transits. Okay, so we are going to get into that. So Conchetta says, "Hi, today is my Venus return. What can I expect?" Your Venus return. Oh, happy Venus return. Well, definitely make sure that you do things that you want to make an imprint on the next this next year. Venus cycles usually last a year, just like the sun. Usually takes about a year to go through the zodiac. Now, when Venus has retrogrades, it may take a little bit longer. And there is a Venus retrograde actually this year. But what do you want from this Venus in Gemini until the next Venus in Gemini? Do you want more love? Like Venus ruled things, pamper yourself a little, take yourself out to lunch, or if you have a partner that you're dating, try to do something with them, like that kind of sets the tone for the next full year-ish that your Venus cycle is going to be. So just do things to set the tone, okay? Like whatever you want, girl, whatever Venusian beautiful things you want. Go shopping, like something nice, If you can't go shopping or anything, then, do your nail, okay? Do something to your hair. Do something affordable. Do something relaxing. Do a face mask. All that good Venus stuff, do that today. What's up, guys? I'm going to have to put my whole computer on mute because we don't need all these disturbances. And, Gemini season does bring lots of notifications and all this stuff. And as a matter of fact, I got to give you guys a fair warning that you guys already know my life's full of disruptions and interruptions, especially when I'm on live broadcast. I may have to take a phone call if it comes through during this broadcast, but I will make it quick. Just pause you guys for a brief moment if it does come through, just for me to get word on something very important. So hopefully, you guys don't mind that. I don't mean to be rude, but, I'm still a human somewhat. Sometimes I'm still a human. So anyway, how's everybody doing this week? We had a full moon in Sag. How did that full moon treat you guys? I know, doorbell ring 2 weeks in a row, right? The doorbell rang. And I'm going to have to take a phone call. Bing, bong, bing. That's my whole life. Bing, bong, bing. So we just came off of a full moon in Sag. Let me know what that did for you guys. Did it bring any realizations about anything? What I noticed with the full moon in Sag is, the overall energy of Sagittarius is very jovial. And it's all about opportunity and just enjoying life to the absolute fullest. Like if you know Sagittarian people, or if you're a Sag, if you're a ninth houser, if you're Jupiter dominant, you know how you guys roll. You know that you guys are all about just don't worry, just enjoy. There's plenty for everybody. So I did notice for myself at least, and looking at my social media feed at people posting stuff and how they're feeling with the Sag moon, that I did start feeling more of a shift of that, like inviting more of that into my life. Of, no, you know what? Travel is for me. It doesn't matter what my situation is. Opportunity is for me. If things are not going good right now, no, it's fine. I'm going to find a way to make them better somehow, to turn lemons into lemonade. That stupid corny saying, you know what I'm saying? That's all Sagittarius stuff. And I noticed like a Sag friend of mine, a Sag rising friend, he posted something saying about how grateful he was just to be able to wake up and breathe air. And I'm like, that is so Sagittarian. Sages will be grateful for everything. They'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for the sun shining. Like they're the ones that are always like, I'm so blessed. Like I have another Sag rising friend, and that's their profile picture is them with the words like, I'm so blessed and smiling. So I think it kind of sprinkled a little bit of that attitude amongst even non-Sagittarius people. Hopefully it did, because it didn't make any crazy aspects to any other planets, like really negative ones that I saw, except kind of a square to Neptune, like a wide square to Neptune, which could have brought out some, oh, that's another thing. Ooh, you guys, we're going to be talking about some Neptune squares. Oh my gosh, we're really going to be, we got to talk, you guys. I have some things to talk to you guys about, okay? About some Neptune squares. So, yeah, but pretty much, let me see what you guys are saying. Got your Libra. Oh, wow, Laura. Thank you for verifying that, Laura, that the horoscope for last week was, it went accordingly to prediction, I guess you can say. So, wow, congrats on the certification and the moving. Okay, good luck. Yeah, so, brought about some people I thought were on my side. Oh, Stefan or Steven. That spelling is pronounced in different ways, so let me know which way it's pronounced. But what house was that full moon in? Let us know so we all know how to deal with the full moon in that house, that it can bring some things that are not so cool for some people. I'm going to take a sip real quick. I have my sweet rose tea. You guys, I've told you about this tea before. It's like Venus in a cup. I'm telling you, it is like you're sipping on like some really Venusian rose. It's really good. It's really good. What's up, Valerie? What's up? In the 12th, yes. If it illuminated your 12th house, it can bring about like some unknown hidden information, stuff about hidden enemies could have come to light, come to the surface. Okay. All right. Okay. A Cap of the Taurus rising. How long will you be angry after this damn? Okay. Well, you know what? Actually, whatever, I can't really read your name, but to the person that you're Taurus rising, well, we're going to talk about Mars transits during the coffee talk. We're going to use some celebrities as examples of people who are going through extreme times of conflict right now and being challenged by others and kind of expressing the more negative side of Mars and letting Mars like kind of take over them and just reacting and acting without as much thought as maybe they should have. And I know that Mars in Aquarius is actually affecting the fixed signs in that type of a way. If you're an Aquarius, if you're a Leo, if you are a Scorpio, if you are a Taurus. Okay, so we'll be talking about that a little bit more at the very end. But that could be why. Maybe it's not the full moon for you. Maybe it's Mars squaring you as a Taurus ascendant. Okay. So now, yes, Monica, you know one of the people we're talking about. Yes, you know. Okay, so the energy that's coming up this week. Now, we don't have any major full moons, new moons, eclipses, ingresses of any planets into new signs or anything like that. So we are just going to talk about some aspects that are happening that are going to affect us all. There aren't any for me to go through each sign necessarily, but I will go through the elements, maybe the signs. I'm still figuring out how I'm going to work this because it's an aspect between 3 planets. So, you know, to go through every sign, it's kind of like it'll be a little more lengthy than I would like it to be. But we'll figure out a way to work it so you guys still get a little horoscope according to element, at least what element that you are. Okay. But speaking of, so let's get right into it. We're talking about Venus and Neptune and Jupiter. They are all forming a grand water trine. Grand water trines, beautiful, beautiful. It is an easy flow of the energy between the planets and how they are speaking to one another and what energy they're giving off and how it makes us feel as humans. You know, our antennas, what they're picking up on and receiving. We are walking receivers, you know what I'm saying? So what are we receiving and how are we reacting? What are we transmitting back out there based on what we received with this grand water trine? So a trine, like I said, is a easier aspect to deal with. Venus, Neptune, and Jupiter, those are planets of like pleasure, you know, of things that make us happy in life, things that make us enjoy life. Bliss is associated with Venus, Neptune, and Jupiter. Very blissful energy. So we can all be kind of feeling some of that. Now, the strongest point of that, the strongest, when it's going to be at its strongest, you know, by degree exactly, is mostly going to be on the 2nd of June. I'm recording this on June 1st, and I'm sure it's still felt to some degree, but definitely on the 2nd is when it is so poppin'. Okay, so Venus, Neptune, and Jupiter. So people are going to be really not thrill seeking, but pleasure seeking, like maybe a little bit more, you know, trine aspects like this between these planets that like are about blissfulness can kind of make some people a little lazy, to be honest. Like some people just be like, oh yes, life is so great, I'm just gonna kick back, you know, like not really do anything, not take any action, not take initiative. For some energies, some signs may feel it that way, but some might get a little bit more of a boost in energy. Like this is in water signs. This is Venus in Cancer, Neptune in Pisces, Jupiter in Scorpio. So the water signs may feel, some of them can maybe feel a little lazy, okay, but some of them may actually get more of a boost of energy. Like, hey, you know, I can do anything. I can, like, but I will say that when being engulfed in all this bliss, we could be blinded to some things that are a little bit more on the practical side. So that's something to be careful of and aware of. But it is, you know, really good, like romantic energy, vacation energy. I'm actually going on a vacation, not on the 2nd, but the 3rd through the 5th or something like that. So I am aware of this and I'm going to be watching my bank account closely. Okay, I'm still going to be, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to just be like, woo, you know, because I'm aware that this transit can make us a little bit more out of touch with reality. And especially when it comes to money, which Venus rules. Okay. So definitely still going to be keeping an eye on the cha-ching, not do it too much, but still have an enjoyable time escaping. Jupiter does deal with escapism in a sense, it does. It's like the runaway planet. Like, let me run away and escape from responsibility and pretend like it doesn't exist so I can be happy and free. And then Neptune is like, what? Ooh, I'm just chilling. I'm not aware. I'm not familiar. What? You know, that's Neptune. And then Venus, Venus is, you know, is not totally like that, but it's like, hey guys, let's enjoy ourselves. You know, let's go shopping. Let's do something. It's a little more aware, but when she's being aspected by these 2 planets, she's just like having a big, I was going to say another word, a big old party though, like just wanting to party. So a lot of people may feel more in the party spirit over this weekend. Okay. I know last weekend in the US was a holiday. And so a lot of people like took vacations and had time off and stuff. But, this coming weekend is where it's at as far as like the party energy, you know? So it's beautiful. It's midnight here in Germany, but you're still watching. Oh, hey, well, I appreciate you, Dark Venus. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I think this might be the phone pool I was talking about. If you don't mind me pausing for a second, we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about some Neptune, okay? Just a sec. Okay, sorry about that, but I'm back. Thank you guys to those of you who still we're holding on. Okay, so Venus and Neptune and Jupiter, very beautiful energy. I will go through all the elements or the signs to let you guys know how it's going to affect you guys the most. But let me tell you about the rest of the transits this week, though. Venus is also going to come into an opposition with Pluto. And this is going to be on the 5th of June, where it's like more tight and exact. So Venus opposite Pluto, this is a little bit of a change in the feeling of Venus, you know, and her mood and her attitude. She's going to become a little bit more dark. You know, she's going to be a little more scorpionic, like wanting to wear this color, you know, wanting to wear some black lipstick or black nail polish. It's already building, right? This is only 4 days from when I'm filming this. So Venus is already making these aspects to all these planets. So we may be feeling at the same time, like all these aspects at the same time, pretty much. So yeah, Venus opposite Pluto. Now, let's talk about what Venus rules. Venus does rule beauty and vanity. So like I said, many Venus ruled people, whether you're male or female, you may be wanting to rock a little bit more of a Plutonian type of a look. Like I said, wearing the color black a little bit more, or like darker makeup if you wear makeup, things like that. Now, when it comes to love, it can be a little bit more of a possessive and a jealous energy, to be honest. But at the same time, it can have you craving really, really deep connections with people, not just the surface level. You know, we're in the Sun and Mercury in Gemini season right now. So a lot of people are just kind of like a little bit more in the Gemini spirit, which is which is more lighthearted, you know, and it's about just friendly conversations that don't really have to lead to anything. But when Venus is in an opposition to Pluto, that mood is going to like change a little bit. You know, some people may be expecting a little bit more of a deeper connection or be craving that. And yeah, some people may be a little bit more crazy, like, you know, checking through people's phones and checking through their partners, like DMs and messages and who's that liking your photo, you know, stuff like that. So try not to be too crazy with Venus opposite Pluto when it comes to the relationships, but having a very soulful connection is more of what it's all about, like on the positive side. And then when it comes to money and finances with Venus, which Venus can also rule, people can become a little bit more protective over their assets, their finances, their material things. And also Pluto is the lord of the underworld, but also destroy and rebuild is a very heavy theme of Pluto. So I would say this coming week, you guys, is one of the ones where I will tell you, you really need to watch your material items, your material goods, the things that you care about, your vehicles, your homes, your information, especially with the Neptune stuff we're going to talk about. But, you know, some people could be out to destroy others' property. That happens during a Venus in opposition to Pluto transit sometimes too. Destroying of property, especially if it's like a crazy relationship situation. This is like a perfect setup for that under this transit. So just be very cautious. Now I have somebody on my social media who posted something this morning about people trying to break into her car. And I'm like, sounds to me like some Neptune squares are building in the sky, which is absolutely true. So on the 6th, Mercury is square Neptune, and on the 7th, the Sun is square Neptune. So these squares are happening in mutable signs. Now, don't get mad, mutables, but just being honest and real, mutable signs can be very tricky. Okay, they could be the tricksters of the zodiac. Okay, like Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and Neptune is in Pisces. And what on the dark side can it rule? Deception, lies. Oh, it wasn't me. Oh, I thought no one can see me. Pisces energy on the darker side can be like that. Gemini on the darker side is ruled by Mercury, which could be very, yeah, who can I scheme today? Yeah. Who can I swindle? Who can I smooth talk out of something? You know what I'm saying? And then Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, which Jupiter doesn't usually have a malicious intent, and Sag doesn't either. But, you know, Sag energy likes to dodge responsibility on a negative side. And if you're a Sag and you say, no, I'm not like that, well, then maybe you're not operating on the lower vibration of Sag. But it could be about, you know, dodging responsibility. And then Virgo, I would say Virgo is the lesser of the evil when it comes to the mutable energy. But it can be, it's ruled by Mercury too, which could be talking its way out of things. Oh no, and using its vocabulary, you know, its extensive vocabulary and speaking skills to say, oh no, I'm innocent. Look at me. I wear glasses and I'm very clean cut. I would never do anything like that. But you know, on the flip side, they could be like Jekyll and Hyde, you know what I mean? So that's how the dark side of mutable energy can operate at times. When we have mutable squares in the sky, this is when it can bring those type of people, that behavior out of people. Not saying everybody, but some people, especially if they already have these squares going on in their own chart, or if they are already like prone to these negative behaviors, it can just amplify them. So Mercury and the Sun are in Gemini. So Gemini, like I said, it could be the smooth talker. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we could make a deal. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, I gave you all the details. When really they didn't. Neptune is just like, it can square Gemini. It can make for people lying, people trying to pull the wool over one's eyes. You know, Mercury rules the hands, so theft is very common under a square like this. Theft and excuse me. So like I said, somebody was already posting, oh yeah, somebody's trying to break into my car. I've seen several of my colleagues who do the same type of work that I do post things about people inboxing them. Yeah, I want a reading. Yeah. And then it's just like, okay, here's all the information. And then once you let them know that you're serious and all business, they disappear. It's like, okay. You know, this season tends to bring that out of people. I got one of those. Sometimes I will get those every year at this time. And sometimes it's like a seedy, like, you know, mutable guy that's saying stuff like that. Yeah, I want a reading. And then trying to like holla at the same time. You know what I mean? And then when I say, no, I'm all business. Did you want your reading or no? And then they disappear. There's always at least one every year during Gemini season. Not just because it's Gemini, but because it's squaring Neptune, which it just makes people, I don't know, like a little delusional and just say and do whatever sometimes. So I say all that to say, yes, these are aspects that sometimes people can be a little bit darker, you know, with disrespect to people's property and information, especially because Gemini does rule information. And then Neptune is crossing boundaries because you don't care about the boundaries. You don't see a boundary. So I've noticed people get like their credit card information hijacked, or their like really personal, important information hijacked during a square like this. Okay, so definitely protect your info. Stay away from shady websites. You know, if you want to buy something cute online and you're not familiar with the brand, and I don't know, if it just seems a little something weird about it, like just trust your instinct and don't risk it. If people are trying to make deals with you, selling things, if you're going to be buying things off of Craigslist or OfferUp and stuff like that this coming week, be very careful. There have been a couple of times during mutable squares that we ended up buying things off of OfferUp, and they were pieces of crap. Oh yeah, it works. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got a good deal. Yeah. Then we bring it home. The freaking thing is just a hunk of junk, you know? And then it's like, what are we going to do? So, you know what I mean? Just be careful. Or I've seen in the news before, I don't know if there was a mutable square going on, but I'll bet some money on it. where this guy bought a MacBook off of Craigslist from some lady, right? He met up with her. He did the transaction, did the deal, and then she took off. And then when he got home and opened the box, he didn't open the box until he got home, you guys. No laptop in there, just the box. Just the box. He got scammed. He was fooled. He was deceived because his head was so foggy, probably due to some Neptune stuff, to where he didn't think logically and practically enough to open the box, check all the facts and the details first before handing her the money. You know, so people can fall into those traps sometimes during mutable squares like this to Neptune. So just be very cautious, you guys. I'm not saying look at everybody like they're a suspect. Not everybody that comes around. But when it comes to things like sales and deals and your information, especially be careful. If you have a partner and they start getting a little shifty-eyed and, oh, it wasn't, I didn't, and you think they're lying, people will start lying during this time, especially if they're born under a mutable sign. Let me tell you, I have mutable kids and a mutable husband, okay, with mutable moons and other planets. They've tried it, okay, during these mutable squares, Neptune, you know what I'm saying? All this Neptune stuff in the air. And I'm just like, no, mom's smart, number one. Number two, she's a Scorpio. Number three, she's an astrologer. Just stop. So yeah, anyhow. Sunflower Girl says June is the shifty month. Oh my gosh. Hey, she said it. I didn't. Yeah, so just be cautious, you guys, with your info and important stuff this coming month. And lock your car doors. Like my friend on Facebook, people were like, you need to lock your doors. She's like, yeah, they caught me slipping this time. No, girlfriend, during mutable seasons and squares to Neptune, do not leave your car unlocked, okay? I started putting mine in the garage right now. You know what I mean? Like, just don't try it with me. Steven says, I am always on guard. I have Sun in Pisces, Venus, Moon is, oh, okay. You're always on guard. Okay, that's cool. All right, you guys. So those are the aspects, the main aspects that are happening this coming week. Like I said, it's the grand water trine, the party energy of Venus, Neptune, and Jupiter, all just kind of, you know, saying hey to each other and beaming that happy energy down. But just don't be too lazy, okay? And don't be too indulgent. Still be practical with your money, says the Taurus stellium. And on the 5th, Venus in opposition to Pluto can be a little, you know, a little possessive and everything. A little too, you know what I'm saying? But I think that the Venus in opposition to Pluto, at the same time that we have the squares to Neptune in the sky from the Sun and Mercury, I think can help us out with that going on at the same time, because Venus in opposition to Pluto is like, I am suspicious of everybody, especially when it comes to love and money. And then Mercury and Sun in Gemini square Neptune and Pisces can be easily deceived, you know? So work with the positives of the Venus and Pluto opposition of having a little bit more of a keen eye, like, no, hold on, wait a second. I thought I was falling for something, but now I'm giving it a second thought. Do I really trust this person? Do I trust their words? Do I trust their actions? Are their googly eyes shifting around everywhere? Are they stuttering? You know, are they looking me in the eyes straight forward when they're telling me something, when they're making a deal, when they're telling me, oh, babe, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. I wasn't there. I swear it was my evil twin. Like, are they telling you the truth? Venus in opposition to Pluto can help you to kind of have a little more discernment, okay? All right. Marina, yes, we will. We will talk about that a little bit. Thank you for suggesting that. Monifa, oh, hey, what's up, Monifa? Monifa, I will be getting back to you today, girl. By the way, so Monifa says, I have an ex in mutable sign. I know he's been trying to snoop on me lately, trying to see if I'm with anybody. Oh my gosh. Yeah, people may do that around this time too. Ark, you know what, Ark, I was thinking about you the other day, girl, because I was like remembering a lot of the people that usually come through to the live broadcast all the time regularly. I was like, I haven't seen Ark in a minute. So what's up, Art? She says, do you know anything about the fixed star Algol? I'd love if you did a segment about OJ and Nicole. Oh my gosh, that's a good one. OJ and Nicole and Algol, that rhymes. This is Gemini season, the season of a rapper, but I'm not even going to try to say I am one. I'm just saying that rhymes. So I know a little bit about fixed star Algol, just a little. I learned a lot from a video that Lada did some years ago where she was reading the chart of Lindsay Lohan, because Lindsay has Algol conjunct her moon in Taurus. And when Lada was explaining how that affects her, like how that plays out her life, I was like, yo, that makes so freaking much sense. So yeah, I know a little bit about it. But yeah, I will consider the OJ and Nicole thing. Definitely, that's an interesting coffee talk discussion, right? So yeah, so just be cautious this week. Okay, now let's get into the Venus, Neptune, and Jupiter trine and how it will affect the elements and the signs. Okay. All right. Okay, peace out, Marina. Catch the replay. We'll see you. Monifa had some good songs back in the day. Yes, she did. I used to bump those back then. Yeah. Okay, so who said something? Jupiter conjunct Algol. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's a good one, Ark. Yeah. Somebody said something about Eminem and Nicki Minaj. That's very interesting. I have not looked into their synastry to see if it's true. I've just heard little headlines and little teases about them supposedly probably maybe dating or something. But yeah, we can look into it in a future coffee talk. There's like so much good stuff to talk about lately, guys. It was like so hard to choose. But excuse me, we will get to that in the end though. Okay, so this grand water trine we're having, how's it affecting the elements and the signs? So for the fire signs, that means if you are an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, rising sign, sun sign, or moon sign, this is going to be affecting your water houses. That means the houses in your chart that rule your emotions. Okay, that's the 4th, the 8th, and the 12th. So some of you guys can be having some emotional breakthroughs this coming week. Some of you guys can have a little bit more of an ease with your emotional well-being too. Maybe not being like on edge. You know, fiery energy can be kind of on edge a lot. And maybe it can help to calm you down a little bit, you know, to where you just want to kind of chill at home. You want to be a little bit more low key. You want to be under the radar. Some of you guys can be getting along with your family a little bit better, or having some really good, don't think of the dirty, and I'm saying this, but intimate contact with people. I'm talking about conversations that are really deep and one-to-one and really meaningful. With a water trine like this, it can help with that. And excuse me, maybe like your mental health, it can help out with your mental health running a little smoothly, like dealing with like trauma and childhood stuff and things of the past. Maybe it can help you to relieve something or release something in that area of life, and like anything that you've been dwelling on in the past. Maybe it can kind of lift your spirit a little bit. Revelations, this is a very intuitive, this is intuitive energy in itself because it is a water trine, but it's in your water houses for fire sign people. So it can bring out more of your intuitive abilities. So trust your intuition a little bit more this coming week and pay attention to your dreams, because this does involve, your 12th house is involved for all fire signs in this aspect. And the 12th house does rule your dreams and receiving messages through your dreams from the spirit realm, from your ancestors, your spirit guides, from angels, whomever you believe in that is not in the physical world. You can really have some important information that they, some messages that they send to you. Or like this could be a really good week for the fire signs. If you wanted to get like a mediumship reading or a psychic reading or something, like to connect with a loved one that is on the other side, especially one that is like an ancestor or a family member, because your 12th, your 8th, and your 4th houses are involved. And you know, the 4th house is your roots, it's your family and ancestry and all that stuff. So it's a very beautiful energy. You may feel a little bit more on the romantico side, okay? A little bit more rico suave for some of you guys. And maybe feeling a little bit more cuddly, you know what I mean? Because Venus in Cancer is involved here. For some of you fire signs, it can make you a little more chill, which is good for your fiery nature, but try not to get into like too much of a lazy mode, you know? So that's the grand fire trine. I'm sorry, the grand water trine for the fire signs. Okay, so next up is earth signs. So if you have a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn sun sign, rising sign, or moon sign, how is this affecting you guys? So this is happening in your air houses, which is more of a social. It's being more social. So you guys, the earth signs are usually very chill, but you guys may be turning up. I know I say that like an old lady because I am one. Turning up this week, as the kids say, for the earth signs. Where it comes to like communicating with people, getting out, talking, conversing. It doesn't matter if you know a person personally or not. You know, you'll be more open to talking with them and interacting with them, because it's hitting your 11th, which is friends, groups, like networking, associates, you know, people that are like more surface level. Like they're not always like your deepest, like closest friendships. It's more like, hey, I know Bob because he's a mutual friend of Bill. Okay, like people like that. And then the 3rd house, which is just anybody in your neighborhood, anybody where you go day to day, you'd be willing to talk to them. The cashier at the grocery store, the barista at the coffee shop, you know, the banker, like those people, just like, oh, hey, how you doing? How's your day? Oh, how's the weather? Okay, well, bye. That's 3rd house. And then your 7th house is involved, which is like, it could be relationship partners, but it could just be like people in general that you have like one-to-one conversations with. So earth signs, you guys may be more out and about, more chatty, wanting to meet people for food, for drinks, for coffee talk in person. Okay. A little bit more on the wittier side, a little bit more like concerned with others and the well-being of others, standing up for the underdog, you know, maybe having more of an active presence on social media too. Okay. So, yeah, your relationships also, there can just be a little bit more of an openness there. To where you just have more like the conversation doors are like open a little bit more. So if your relationships have been a little stagnant, you know, especially in the communication department or signs, maybe it can be a little bit better this coming week, you know, with this trine going on. So that's for the earth signs. Oh, and earth signs, yeah, it's great energy for you guys if you wanted to like put a project out there, like especially on the internet or social media or website or something. Do things like podcasts and media to where you're speaking to other people on like a platform. Really good energy for that this week. Okay, so the water signs, the water, let me take a sip before I lose my voice completely. Sorry, guys. All right, so the water signs. So water signs, if you are a Cancer, a Scorpio, or a Pisces, sun, rising, or moon sign, okay? This grand water trine is actually hitting your sign. So that means it's hitting your fire houses, okay? That means that it's really energizing you guys. It's making you feel a little bit more active, more alive, and more like enjoying life. You guys will probably feel like the most blissful. You guys and the fire signs, more like swimming in bliss, you know, and wanting to, but this is like adventurousness too. This is taking action. So you guys may be feeling like more get up and go. I can't snap because I just painted my nails. They're a little sloppy, but I'll clean them up. But that get up and go. Okay, there, I did it. Did I mess up anything? No. Yeah, a little bit. I'll paint over it though. But get up and go. You know, you water signs will be feeling that. So you guys can be feeling more adventurous, you know. So your first house is hit, which is you, okay, and your appearance. So some of you guys may be feeling like doing different things with your appearance this coming week. I'm double water. I'm a Scorpio and a Pisces, and I just colored my hair. You guys can't tell because my hair is always dark anyway, and this is like fuzzy on the screen. But I dyed my hair. It's more like jet black, like bliggity black. Is my hair. I had it like a dark brown, almost black, and then I had it like with purple and red and all kinds of stuff. No, now it's just straight solid jet black. This is 8th house season, okay, for me as a Scorpio. So I'm like really feeling the black right now. So, but I'm also water, you know, I'm a water sign. So yeah, I did something a little different to my appearance. I went into Ulta the other day, and all these different color, like lip colors than usual, were calling out to me, like being a little bit more adventurous with your looks. So other water signs, you guys may be feeling that because your first house is involved. Okay. So what else? Sorry, my phone keeps going off. Yeah, so your first house is involved. Your 5th house is involved, which is fun. Okay, whatever brings you great fun and joy, lots of energy in your life, confidence, self-confidence especially. That's the 5th house. Fun, you know, like I think I already said fun, dating, all that stuff is 5th house. Whatever really makes you feel like excited about life. 5th house energy can bring that. Party energy is the 5th house too. And then also your 9th house is involved for the water signs. So that's a house of like getting out into the world and exploring it. That's why we call it the house of travel. So some of you water signs may be actually traveling and having a really, really good time, having a blast. This could be a very lucky energy, you know, because your 9th house is involved for water signs. So some of you guys maybe can try your luck with some things like, and the 5th house is said to be like speculation and gambling. And the 9th house is luck, you know, and the 1st house is you. So some of you guys may have good luck when it comes to trying your hand at like gambling or something like that, or lottery tickets or whatever. Actually, I heard another astrologer say that, and she brought it to my attention, which is Kelly Rosano. I heard her say that, and I was like, hello, I'm a water sign. I'll be in Vegas, okay, during this trine. So I'm gonna put a couple quarters in the machine and then try my luck. You know what I mean? So other water signs, you guys, you know, consider that. Don't come back to me crying if you didn't win any money, because I'm not guaranteeing. I'm not saying I'm predicting you'll win $1 million. That's all on you if you decide to do something like that. But I'm just saying it could be a stroke of luck for some of you water signs. But yeah, the adventurousness is real. Getting out and doing different things, adrenaline rushes, whatever brings that to you, you'll be wanting some more of that. Okay. It could be romance too, but more like the fun and exciting romance, not like the sappy, oogie bougie, let's cuddle on the couch. You know, water signs are usually down with that, but this time it's going to be like, no, babe, let's get out. Let's go to a different restaurant. Let's go here. Let's go there. Let's go hiking. Let's get out and do things together that are active, you know, and exploration together of the world. Okay. So finally, air signs. This is going to be, that means if you are a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius rising sign, sun sign, or moon sign, this grand water trine is going to be in your earth houses. So that's a little bit more of a chill energy. Okay. But it's going to be in your 2nd house, which is earned money that you earn by working at a job. By your own efforts, let's just say. Excuse me. So your material resources, your bills that you pay, the things that you buy, things you consume, that's all 2nd house as well. Money is 2nd house. It's going to be also affecting your 6th house, which is your work. the job duties that you do all the time, every day, routinely. And how you take care of yourself and the environment around you, your personal environment, is found in the 6th house. But yeah, it can be jobs too. And then your 10th house, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, your 10th house as well, which can deal with your career, your top, reaching the very top that you can in your life. Like the best that you can be, you know, is way up there in the 10th house. But ultimately we say career, okay? So for air signs, this grand water trine is activating. Maybe some of you guys may have better luck with your money. Not saying to spend it all foolishly. I'm saying with making money, with getting a new job, with getting promoted or something like that. Maybe not like super major events, but there's just like an ease of the flow between the triangle, which makes those 3 houses in your chart. So maybe it could just be that work feels good this week. Whereas maybe it's usually stressful for you guys, and maybe it's just more chill. Maybe you're getting along better with your coworkers and your bosses. Maybe as a result of that, you're getting along with them, and they do offer you something that kind of boosts you further in your job, your money, or your status, you know, your title. It could be that, you know, career is going really great. You're bringing in clientele if you work in a clientele or customer-based type of a career. And as a result of that, there's more money and you feel happier about the job that you're doing. And then it all like flows in a triangle together, you know, just works together. It could be that you figure out a better balance in your life, you know, a balance of work and relaxation, you know, not overdoing it with the work. And to where you still feel like you can enjoy the material world without overdoing, overspending, or under like shorting yourself on it. And you know, it's because your career is going great at this time. You know what I'm saying? So it's some kind of a great flow between your money, your security, the things that you value in life, and yeah, your job. I mean, just thinking about regular world stuff, you know, especially in the westernized world, which a lot of you tuning in live in. It just means like better times for a short little period of time with the work that you do, you know. So yeah, so that's what it is this week, you guys, for the grand water trine of Venus, Neptune, and Jupiter, and the other aspects that I talked about for a little bit. Once again, protect all your info with these squares, you know, to Neptune and to from Mercury and the Sun. Don't be victims of deceit, okay? And don't try to deceive either. Just don't. Okay, so if you are tuning out because you don't want to look at celebrity examples of astrology, then peace, and I hope to see you next week. Don't forget to hit me up for a reading. Also, check out the webinar that I did on Uranus and Taurus. It's going to be up for a while, so you can see how the next 8 years are going to go according to Uranus transits, okay? Through the sign of Taurus, yeah. So if you're still tuning in, oh, hold on, T-Lin W, good question. How long is this transit of Venus, Neptune, and Jupiter grand water trine? I would say we will feel the effects for about, let's say about roughly like a week, maybe 5 days or so. Okay, so I'm doing this at the end of the week, so give it until like maybe the middle to next week. So before the next coffee talk, okay, the next one is on June 8th. So before that, it'll probably phase out. Okay, so now let's get into the celebrity stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys great examples of Mars transits, okay? Now, if you don't know, Mars is the planet that rules conflict, and it rules taking action, taking a stand, and sometimes it could rule lashing out without completely thinking things through, just because you feel upset, you feel angry, you know. And the symbol for Mars is a circle with an arrow, a pointy arrow. So it can be very much like you're poking and prodding at people. It can rule being annoyed and irritated. Okay. So Mars is in Aquarius right now. And Aquarius, excuse me, Aquarius does, it is a more cerebral sign, but this is still Mars we're talking about here, okay? Now, what I'm going to show you is we're going to talk briefly on, and I don't want to hear a bunch of, I mean, you guys can do whatever you want, but like, don't think that I'm some kind of like crusader or activist for anything or on any team or anything. I'm just reporting astrology, okay? Now, we all know that Roseanne Barr has been in the news because her show was canceled because she sent out a tweet that was deemed highly inappropriate. It was a shot at someone, I think, who works in the government, who just talking about the woman's appearance, and you know, it was very inappropriate. It was very uncalled for. And because of that, they pulled the whole show, you guys. Hey, I have to admit, I was super hyped that Roseanne was coming back because I was a big Roseanne fan back in the day. And they revamped the show, if you didn't know. It had one season that was very successful, and they had season 2 lined up. Everybody had, you know, their jobs and everything. The whole cast, they had jobs again. Some new cast members had a new job. Hey, you know, it's going great, right? And then because of this one tweet that she had to just mouth off, now the consequences, they pulled the show. And I think she said the old episodes of Roseanne that were being played as reruns in syndication, I think she said they pulled those too. Okay. This is a really good lesson in watch what you say. And Mars transits can really bring that out of people to where they just are that pointy Mars arrow and they're pointing at people, poking. You know what I'm saying? So why did this happen? What does Mars have? Mars has something to do with that, and I'll show you her chart. Okay. And also, Drake is in a battle right now with another rapper, PushaT. If you don't know who PushaT is, don't listen to rap. It's cool. I'm just going to show their astrology charts so you can follow along with these human beings. Okay. But PushaT is half of the duo called the Clips, which actually is short for the Eclipse, I believe, from back in the day. So they are battling it out right now, making diss tracks against each other, firing shots at one another. Mars has something to do with this too, of why this is coming about, because I'll just show you guys. Okay. All right. So yes, it really was, Zuli. It was very, very uncalled for. So let me show Roseanne's chart, and we'll see what happened with her. What was the event? And you know, all this stuff is surrounding the full moon in Sag, you guys. That's another interesting fact that I'll see if it applies while we're looking at these charts. Okay. So why did all this stuff go down with Roseanne? What's going on in her chart right now? Can you guys see? Okay. So now I use trustyaastrotheme.com. They have a birth time here for Roseanne, but they do not name a source for the birth time. So that's why I'm like, you know, you guys, I'm not sure. We'll work with this birth time. It seems to kind of go with her, but we'll see. Okay. So if this birth time is correct, Roseanne she's an Aquarius rising. Where is Mars right now? It's in Aquarius. What degree is it at? Let's see, Mars. Okay, so currently it's at the 5th degree. Yeah, so it's been like, when all this stuff went down, like the 4th, the 5th degree. Okay. So, here we go. So Roseanne is supposedly a 7-degree Aquarius rising. So Mars is in the same sign as her ascendant. That's number 1. Number 2, she is a Scorpio, which is another fixed sign. So Mars is squaring her sun in Scorpio. Even if this ascendant isn't right, it's still squaring her sun. So anytime you have a transit of Mars square, Mars conjunct, Mars opposition. This can be times of your greatest conflicts with people. This can be times where you allow yourself to fly off the handle, okay? And say things and do things that are maybe a bit irrational because you're just acting without really stopping to think. And she said that, oh, well, it was Memorial Day and da 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 da. Well, despite it being Memorial Day, I think Memorial Day, the full moon, it was building up, and I think it was still in Scorpio, the sign of her sun. Then it went, when it was at its peak, it was in Sagittarius. Right here, which in the Placidus chart system shown here, it lands in her 10th house. What's your 10th house? Your public image, your career. A full moon here brought something to a head, which resulted in bringing something to a decision, okay? And if this ascendant is correct as well, the full moon was conjunct her Mercury. Mercury rules Virgo, which is her 8th house. The 8th house is earning money through other people. It could be working with others, which she did work with the cast and crew on her show, as well as residual income, which means money that she would receive through her sitcom playing in syndication. Over the years, she probably gets little checks in the mail because it's still, even though it wasn't on the air live, it was still, you know, on reruns, right? So she would get some kind of money for that. That's the 8th house. So a full moon on the ruler of her 8th, you know, it brought something to a head, which resulted in, okay, the decision is we're pulling the show, right? So she let Mars get a hold of her. Mars was actually making a trine to her moon in Gemini as well. Trines, yeah, they're great aspects, you know. They create an easy flow of energy, but they can also create such an easy flow that you become, you just tap into it a little too much, right? So Mars trine the moon is your mood and your attitude and stuff. Mars could be anger and just like flying off the handle and expressing that just without completely thinking. Okay. So that's what happened with her. And once again, I'm not when I explain this stuff, you guys, I don't excuse people's behavior. I just explain what happened in astrology to bring this about. So maybe you guys could take note. Hey, if I'm going through a certain Mars transit, I don't want what happened to her to happen to me. So I'm going to be aware so I don't just like fly off the handle. You know, I'm going to make sure that I really pay attention to myself. I'm aware of myself. Okay. So that's what happened with her. Now, what's going on with Drake? So if you guys don't know, Drake is a rapper. And like I said, he and another rapper are going at it right now. The other rapper is really taking shots at Drake, and Drake was taking shots back, but then the ultimate shots were fired from PushaT to Drake because he brought up Drake's secret son that he had with I guess an escort that he was trying to keep on the low as a Scorpio. And Drake does have a Cancer moon, okay? Cancer and Scorpio, here's his Scorpio, can be pretty private people, especially about their private lives. And see, Drake is a Leo rising. Now he's at the 29th degree, so the houses are a little funky here. But usually for Leo, just using like the whole sign method, Scorpio is the 4th house. So, and Scorpio, yeah, does land in his 4th here. So anyway, that means that he is like a private person, especially when it comes to matters of family, okay? And that shot was fired at him to where he was like, yeah, you know, this and that about ask your baby's mom about your kid and all this stuff. And then he was silent. You know, then Drake was silent after that. But why is all this conflict coming to Drake at this moment? Really hardcore conflict. Well, number one, with him being a Leo rising, what's the opposite sign of Leo? Aquarius. Where is Mars? in Aquarius. So Mars is going through his opposite sign, meaning conflict is coming to him from opposition, the opposition angle, meaning other people. Okay. So when Mars transits your 7th house, guys, take note. This could be a time when other people can really challenge you. Sometimes it's necessary, sometimes it's motivating, but sometimes it's like, ooh, it's like a really sharp cut, especially if it's your Mars return. His Mars is 8 degrees Aquarius. Mars is at 5 degrees Aquarius transiting right now. So it's very close to his natal Mars. So during your Mars return, same thing. You could be more subjected to conflict. You can feel super heated, super just like charged to where you don't always think before you speak. And yeah, you can attract some extreme conflicts from other people. And so, yeah, you know, Leo rising, and then the opposite is Aquarius, and he has his Mars in Aquarius. So that's why this is hardcore conflict coming about for Drake. Now, PushaT, I don't know his ascendant, okay, but so ignore the ascendant and all this stuff. I just did a whole sign chart. So he is a Taurus. He's a Taurus sun. And for Tauruses, Aquarius squares the sign of Taurus. And, you know, in his solar chart, Mars in Aquarius would be here in his 10th house, which is his public image. So that means that publicly he's having a feud, which is Mars. Here, let's do this. With the transits, okay? Da 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 da. Mars up here in the public eye. So that's what's going on with him. And I think this feud is still going to go on for a little bit, to be honest, or be brought back up or dug back up because of the fact that Mars is going to go retrograde. Same with Roseanne too. Okay, Mars is going to get up to the 9th degree of Aquarius, and then it's going to go retrograde. Let's see, when's the retrograde date of Mars? It's actually this month. Around June 27th, is that 26th, 27th, it's going to go retrograde. So and it's already starting to like be in shadow and slow down and everything right now. So yeah, I think, especially around this time, you know, maybe all of these people can see their feuds like reignite, or, you know, things can be brought back upon them. Maybe Drake is like laying low now, like, okay, that was a low blow, but you know what? I have astrologers on my team. So I'm going to lay low until Mars goes retro, and then I'm going to fire back at you. Come back out of the woodworks with something. But actually, speaking of Mars retro, you know, the best time to actually just kind of be a little bit more chill, not saying let people trample all over you or anything like that, but to be a little bit more not the aggressor and like just charging at people for, you know, just to rah, you know what I'm saying? Mars retrograde is not the time to do that, because it can boomerang back at you. Okay, like if you are the initiator of like just something that's a conflict that doesn't really have much like backing to it, like as far as like logic, you know, the reason behind it or whatever, or you just want to fight for the sake of fighting, that's when Mars retro can bite you in the butt. Okay, so who knows what'll go on with PushaT, with Drake, with his little Mars in Aquarius right there. Roseanne with her Aquarius rising, you know, Mars is going to cross over. It's going to come here, sit there for a sec, and then go back. So I think, so maybe she could have like a lot more serious repercussions happen when Mars goes retrograde in her sign, you know? Maybe people will like calm down for a little bit about her whole ordeal with that tweet, but then once it goes retrograde, it can be like, okay, you know what? We didn't forget what you did, Roseanne. We didn't forget what you said. So yeah, I just wanted to show that to you guys so you can see Mars, how Mars is affecting us, like in our pop culture right now. So anyhow, let me see what you guys are saying while I take a little sip before we end this real quick. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, you've had to. Monifa brings up a really good point. She said that Mars in the eighth is opposing her natal Mercury. So Mars in an opposition to your Mercury. She says she's really had to think before she speaks. Yes, because it can bring out extra anger and the inability to control your words. Okay, if you have like an opposition to your Mercury like that, or a conjunction or a square. So yeah, interesting stuff, right? Right? Okay. What's up, Simone? How you doing? Thanks for coming through. Simone is an OG. Okay. Did I get info on Astrodian's site or software? I was on Astro Theme. I was on Astro Theme. Oh, and then to bring up the other chart that wasn't on Astro Theme, I brought it up on astro.com, on Astrodienst for the OGs. So yeah, guys, Mars, if you have a Mars transit, like if you're a fixed sign, Mars is going to be making a harsh aspect to you for a few more months. Okay, so you guys will really have to think about your actions before you do them a little bit harder, and your words before you speak them. You know, don't just fire without like really good reason. Okay. All right, guys. So thank you for tuning in. Best of luck to everybody this week. I hope you enjoy your week. And I will see you guys next week. Don't forget, once again, I am available for readings on astrolada.com. The link is below, so where you can contact me for a reading. And also, don't forget about my Uranus and Taurus webinar. Uranus just entered Taurus. Is going to be there for 8 years. Okay, so if you want to know how it'll affect you in detail, that is what the webinar can assist you with. So yeah, have a great weekend, you guys, and I will see you guys back this week. I may talk about Freddie Mercury next week because that was a viewer request, and there is a movie in the works about his life. So, and he's a very interesting person, a very interesting entertainer. So I may talk about him next week, so stay tuned for that. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Peace.